collective nouns in their tricky nature. Imagine watching a soccer game and someone says, "The team are playing exceptionally well today." Does that sound right to you, or does it feel a little off? Now think of someone saying, "The family is gathering for dinner." Feels perfectly normal, right? Welcome to the fascinating world of collective nouns, where words that represent groups like team, family, or committee can sometimes trick even the most seasoned language users. Collective nouns are the quiet chameleons of grammar. They can behave as singular or plural entities depending on the context. This duality makes them both intriguing and, let's admit, a bit challenging. But don't worry. This isn't a grammar lesson designed to put you to sleep. Instead, we're diving into the tricky nature of collective nouns in a way that's both practical and fun. By the end, you'll not only understand how to master these grammar shapeshifters, but you'll also appreciate their complexity in shaping effective communication. Understanding the basics of collective nouns represent groups of people, animals, or things. Words like audience, team, flock, committee, and family fall into this category. At their core, collective nouns describe a single entity comprising multiple members. For instance, a flock of birds refers to one group made up of many birds. The tricky part arises because collective nouns can take either singular or plural verbs, depending on the context. In American English, collective nouns are usually treated as singular when referring to the group as a whole. For example, the committee has decided to postpone the meeting. Treats committee as one unit. In contrast, British English often uses plural verbs, as in the committee have decided to postpone the meeting, emphasizing the individual members of the group. Singular or plural? The context is key. When using collective nouns, the key to choosing between singular and plural forms lies in the intended meaning. If the group is acting as a single unit, use a singular verb. For example, the audience is applauding. The speaker treats the audience as one entity. However, if the members of the group are acting individually, use a plural verb. For instance, the audience are taking their seats focuses on the actions of individual audience members. Common collective nouns and their usage. Let's explore some common collective nouns and their behavior in sentences. Consider the word team. If you say, "The team is practicing for the championship," you're treating the team as a single entity. On the other hand, the team are arguing over the strategy emphasizes the actions of individual members within the team. The same principle applies to family. In "My family is planning a vacation," the family is viewed as one unit. In contrast, "My family are discussing their individual schedules" highlights the perspectives of individual members. Collective nouns with animals. Collective nouns are often used to describe groups of animals, such as herd, flock, pack, or swarm. For example, the herd is grazing peacefully treats the herd as a single group, while the herd are scattering in different directions focuses on the actions of individual animals. Some animal-related collective nouns are uniquely charming, such as a murder of crows or a parliament of owls. While these terms are typically used in singular form, they can follow the same rules when context dictates plural usage. Abstract collective nouns. Not all collective nouns refer to tangible groups. Words like data, information, and equipment are abstract collective nouns that can confuse writers. For example, the data is accurate treats data as a singular entity, whereas the data are being analyzed highlights individual pieces of information. Ambiguity in everyday usage. The tricky nature of collective nouns often leads to ambiguity in everyday language. For instance, in sports commentary, you might hear, "The team are playing well today." While this is common in British English, it might sound strange to an American audience accustomed to treating team as singular. This ambiguity can extend to legal and corporate language. Consider the sentence, "The board is meeting to discuss the proposal." Here, board refers to a single entity. However, the board are divided on the issue emphasizes the differing opinions of individual board members. Cultural differences in collective noun usage. One fascinating aspect of collective nouns is how their usage varies between American and British English. In American English, collective nouns are predominantly singular. emphasizing the group as a single unit. In British English, collective nouns are often plural, reflecting the individuality of the group's members. For example, an American might say, "The band is performing tonight," while a Brit might say, "The band are performing tonight." These differences highlight the nuanced ways language evolves in different cultural contexts. Collective nouns in creative writing. In creative writing, collective nouns can add depth and texture to descriptions. Consider the sentence, "The swarm buzzed angrily as it moved toward the intruder." Here, the collective noun swarm paints a vivid picture of unity in motion. Alternatively, breaking down a collective noun into individual actions can create tension or detail. For example, the swarm of bees were darting in every direction, each one seeking a target shifts the focus to individual members of the group, adding dynamism to the scene. The role of collective nouns in sentence structure. Collective nouns play a crucial role in shaping sentence structure. They influence verb agreement, pronoun usage, and even the overall tone of a sentence. For example, the jury has reached its verdict uses singular pronouns and verbs, maintaining a formal tone. In contrast, the jury are debating their opinions adopts a more informal tone by emphasizing individuality. When constructing sentences, it's essential to consider whether the collective noun refers to a unified group or individual members. This decision impacts verb choice, pronoun agreement, and clarity, avoiding common mistakes with collective nouns. One common mistake is failing to match the verb with the intended meaning of the collective noun. For example, "The team are winning its match" mixes singular and plural forms, creating confusion. A better version would be, "The team is winning its match" or "The team members are winning their match," depending on the context. Another pitfall is overusing collective nouns in a way that becomes repetitive or monotonous. Varying sentence structure and incorporating synonyms can keep writing engaging. The importance of context and clarity. Understanding the context of a collective noun is essential for clear communication. Ambiguity arises when the intended meaning is unclear, as in the council are meeting to discuss the issue. Does this mean the council members are meeting individually or as a group? Adding context, such as "the council members are meeting to discuss the issue," resolves ambiguity. Mastering collective nouns through practice. Mastering collective nouns requires practice and attention to detail. Reading widely and analyzing how collective nouns are used in different contexts can deepen your understanding. Writing regularly and experimenting with singular and plural forms can also enhance your skills. Proofreading is crucial for catching errors in verb agreement or pronoun usage. Seeking feedback from others can provide valuable insights into improving clarity and precision. Collective nouns are the ultimate shapeshifters of grammar, capable of uniting or dividing the elements they describe. Their tricky nature makes them a fascinating aspect of language, one that challenges us to think critically about meaning and context. But here's the question: what happens when collective nouns break the rules entirely? In our next exploration, we'll dive into how collective nouns are used creatively in literature, advertising, and everyday speech to evoke emotion, humor, or surprise. Get ready to uncover the artistry behind collective nouns and how they can transform ordinary sentences into extraordinary expressions. Stay tuned for a journey into the unexpected.